Well, greetings. Do we have sound? We'll find out in a little bit. We seem to have sound. Yay. We also seem to have a new place to live. It's a duplex. Tiny little thing, but cheap. And not too far from downtown. A little bit further than here. It's down 6th a little. It's down 5th Avenue from here. And gosh, the haters are just going at it. Poor Dave. This, I really feel sorry for that guy's father. Wow. All my life I was, well, not all my life, but my elementary school years, I wasn't allowed to be fruity. I had to play along, be a boy. Um, yeah, and I did okay in grade school. I had trouble covering up my body when I was in high school. Um, but I got bullied for being too smart, always. I was really abused badly for being too smart. And still today, I don't go around telling people how smart I am. I demonstrate it. I know stuff. I know a lot about certain things, like the science of sex and gender, um, and fish, and, and just ecosystems, ecology. This is what I studied. Um, I know a lot of music. I just don't let on about it. I'm too lazy. Before my accident, I had a really bad accident in 1999 and busted my face up, and I've never really mentally recovered from it. I didn't, hurt my brain, but emotionally, I mean, just 1999 was just a major trauma for me. Um, Several separate traumas in 1999 that I never really recovered from. I'm getting there. Um, Not at all happy about my belly. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the inaugural address. Um, Everybody's like real woohoo in my circles. Um, there's a lot of sour grapes from the Republicans. Uh, oh well. Um, anyway, there wasn't any protests to speak of around the country. Colorado, they burned an American flag. Some idiot in a Guy Fawkes mask, and some other idiot in a Mad Max outfit. Um, you basic yahoos. That's nothing there. But here's the full inauguration speech. We opened with, "This is America's day. This is democracy's day. A day of history and hope, of renewal and resolve. Through a crucible for the ages, America has been tested anew and America has risen to the challenge." And that they did. But what was the challenge? And have we really risen to it? Today we celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause, the cause of democracy. Well, we got you 8 million votes more than the other guy, and the will of the people has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. Well, has it been? And will it continue to be? We've learned that democracy is precious, democracy is fragile. At this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed. No, not necessarily. Only if, like, we the people can continue to get your attention. Now, my personal um, concern Let's go, Caitlin Johnstone. Yeah, so I don't need to read this whole thing. Basically, we're bragging about how we the people rose up against all this, but you know, we have some promises for um, directed corrections to domestic issues, but there was nothing. Let me see if I can find it. It's all just more wars and beat it back and victory, blah, 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 blah. What about American foreign policy? We have stood strong here, but we really need to um, de-escalate worldwide. Dwight Eisenhower had visions. He didn't talk about, he's talking about fixing it at home, which is cool, which we needed. But we can't fix the home front with 135 bases around the world and our servicemen propping up despotic governments and then teaching them how to commit mass murder against their people. This just doesn't, this America the privilege, America the empire, we're not behaving in this righteous fashion. Let me see if I can find it, because I know he did say a little bit of something. But this was basically focused on the domestic democratic protection of the democratic process. But this man is solidly in the pockets of corporations. I mean, yeah, they're listening to the people, and yeah, they've got some really serious, uh, progressive ideas on how to move forward with the native nations. But there's nothing here talking about reining in the military and converting. This was Dwight Eisenhower's vision, and Kennedy tried to carry it forward but got nowhere except dead. Was peacetime projections of American military technology for constructive reasons. Clean up after disasters, help build infrastructure, open up habitats in places that were previously uninhabitable, like under the ocean and outer space. We haven't done any of that. We've had these perpetual wars instead, because that's they're manufacturing wars to sell their weapons, and America's leading it. But here now we've got nearly 500,000 people dead. We're pushing 500,000. We're well over 400,000 now, from an invisible enemy that got us on our own soil. At least he called it the virus and not the China virus. Because here's the foes of America: anger, resentment, hatred, extremism, lawlessness, violence, disease, joblessness, hopelessness. With unity, we can do great things, important things. We can right wrongs. We can put people to work in good jobs, making bombs. We can teach our children in safe schools how to marginalize minorities and dehumanize enemies. We can overcome this deadly virus with medical tyranny. We can reward work, rebuild the middle class, make healthcare secure for all. We can deliver racial justice. We can make America once again the leading force for good in the world. Now, when was it ever that? Excuse me. When was America ever the leading force for good in the world? We had to get dragged into World War I and World War II, because it was all bullshit. we've been doing nothing but projecting our bloat at people for 244 years. I mean, it didn't take them long. We've only been at peace for 17 years. They killed 100 million. Well, most of them were killed before 1776. Most, the biggest number of Native Americans were slaughtered by disease before the United States was ever established. But they still killed a fair number after that. Lots of them. And we need to own this history. That we're at a point now where we can finally make, America's always looked real good on paper, but in practice, that's always been an oligarchy. It's been a plutocratic oligarchy run by warmongering, slave keeping demon worshippers, calling themselves Christians and Jews. And our history's been a constant struggle between the American ideal that we are all created equal and the harsh, ugly reality that racism, nativism, fear, and demonization have long torn us apart. Well, that's part of the plan, man. Our better angels, our lesser evils. That when push comes to shove, Americans believe in these values. And we acted on it, and we elected this man, and hopefully he's going to follow through on the things that he's promised. Now he's already canceled the Keystone Pipeline. He also re-entered the Paris Accords. Let's see what else. He had a whole stack of executive orders on his desk. I saw a picture of. Okay, he did a mask mandate in federal property. Everybody's got to wear masks. Everybody was masked today. Rejoin the Paris climate and racial equality. Well, he was gonna, what, yeah, but he didn't mention it. Nobody mentioned the Keystone. Hello, that's MSNBC. Who's got the list? Here we go. QZ. Courts. Biden signed more executive actions on one day than Trump, Obama, and Bush combined. Joe Biden isn't wasting his time. On his first day in office, the newly inaugurated U.S. president planned to sign 17 executive actions around 5:15 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. It's not unprecedented for world leaders to get to work on day one, but the number of directives on Biden's desk is much higher than usual. It took his recent predecessors weeks to sign 17 executive orders. Trump, Obama, Bush, and Clinton signed 4 executive orders or memos on their first day combined. So he's reversing the Muslim travel ban, rejoining the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Agreement, stopping construction on the border wall, and ending the Keystone Pipeline. Mask mandate, launch of 100 days masking challenge to encourage Americans to wear masks. Back in the World Health Organization, he's big COVID response team thing, calling on Congress for a new COVID package and extend eviction and foreclosure moratoriums, pause payments for federal loans, Paris Agreement, I'm not sure what this would be an interesting one to check out. The wording isn't even very good here. An executive order reversing actions Trump took that Biden's agencies judged to have been harmful to the environment, public health, or the national interest, and asking agencies to revise these standards to tackle climate change. It sounds like a general order to just like get their shit back in the way it was in 2016. That's what that's. Everybody, okay, hey, look, we're getting back to the way I used to do shit. Executive order with the aim of embedding equity across federal policymaking and rooting out systemic racism and other barriers to opportunity from federal programs and institutions. And the order will also disband the Trump administration's 1776 commission. Executive order reversing a Trump administration order that excluded undocumented immigrants from the census. Memorandum directing officials to preserve and fortify the DACA program, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Executive action repealing two proclamations informally known as the Muslim ban that restricted entry to the U.S. from majority Muslim countries. Executive order revoking Trump's harsh and extreme immigration enforcement and directing agencies to set immigration policies more in line with the Biden administration values and priorities. Proclamation that will pause the construction of the border wall and will determine how to best divert those funds elsewhere. Memorandum to extend a designation allowing Liberians who have been in the U.S. for a long time to stay. An executive order directing the government to interpret the Civil Rights Act as prohibiting workplace discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity, not just race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. Basically, the queers won. Excuse us. We're here. We're queer and we're valid. An executive order enacting new ethics rules for government officials. That's standard issue. Everybody gives their own. An executive order reversing regulatory process executive orders enacted by the Trump administration. Whatever the fuck that means. It's going to take like most of the year to clean, at least, to clean up Trump's mess. I mean, for every year he was in, he cost us 3 years of progress in terms of phasing out fossil fuels. We absolutely have to phase out fossil fuels and replace them with renewables this decade. We must stop burning. We have to stop putting, I mean, we're putting, I have to find the real numbers, probably 100 or 1,000 times the amount of carbon we're releasing into the atmosphere as we're putting back in the soil every year. And this just can't go on. We have to, there has to be a balance between the carbon emissions and the carbon sequestration into fresh biomass. We can't go on the way we're doing things. It just is not sustainable according to the biophysics of the planet. And these storms and earthquake clusters and volcanic eruptions are going to just keep getting more and more intense until the planet brings itself back to what's called homeostasis, to balance. It's all about harmonic balance. We're a big spinning ball of molten metal encased in a bubble of water. And there's only a very thin layer right at the interface of the metal and the water that can support life. And we're fouling our nest. What's so hard to understand about that? There's no argument there. It's obvious. And scientists have been pretty much in consensus about this for the past 50 years. And the only scientists that are objecting have vested interests in objecting on behalf of polluters. And I think that's, 20 minutes worth of like blah blah on the new administration. I suppose that's all clean clothes, by the way, almost. Yeah, that's all clean clothes. I'm not neat. What can I say? I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. I'm an intersex person. I'm Tommy. I'm a Tommy. Okay, I'm a two-spirit. You don't want to meet Tom. Tom's no fun. This is me. And I'm happy with me. I'm content with what I got. I'm not. I'm will not, they really messed me up down below as a toddler, and I've lived with that my whole life, and here I am, and I'm very grateful for the artists and educators who consider themselves friends, um, all over the world. Really beautiful, dynamic people. They're creative and great, witty, can communicate coherently, and on a topic, and give a convincing argument that's rational and makes sense, and um, be gracious to stupid people up to a point. uh, let's see what's going on here. So I got a few notifications. What's happening? Oh, I was covering the I took some screenshots, and I was just posting um the opening benediction. He closed with "We dream together," and I got a really good shot, some really great shots of Lady Gaga singing the Star Spangled Banner. Coming, I got a Marine helping her down the steps. So I think that guy's Army. I don't know. Hard to tell. I think he's either Army or Marine. Helping her down the steps in this weird cape dress thing. Big old, I don't know. But she really, really did a beautiful job with it. And I got a great shot of her hitting the high note. Uh, and it's "We dream together." So, what's your vision for America's future as the colors are presented and the national anthem sung? Everybody's watching this all together and posting as it was going on. The most activity, the most conversation is in the here's one person. I didn't realize how deeply and personally I'd been traumatized by 4 years of a despotic narcissist as leader of this nation. Having been traumatized in childhood, I knew what I was seeing. I just didn't feel the full effect until the change came. Like when a physician releases pressure from an inflamed appendix and you cry out. Like when someone kind shows up in a moment of need. I'm going to weep all I want today. Right now, I'm eating warm chocolate chip cookies with iced milk. God bless all the other good folks who are feeling the same. God bless America. And Diane, the admin. So I can relate to this in many ways. Like every time I saw our earth burning and we stood against the dark. When the protesters are attacked by police and hired thugs. When I saw my friends marching in the heat to bring us live feeds of protests. When the homeless are evicted from only safe area they have. When vets are treated as secondhand citizens. When children are in cages. When our people die from COVID, and on and on. Oh, wow. Dallas Goldtooth. Bernie was sitting out in the cold all alone, and nobody brought him a blanket. So Dallas Goldtooth laid a blanket on him. Huh. BLMers were out in Portland honking their horns, caravanning around town. So just to wrap it up, we had been on a good pathway domestically up until 2016. I mean, even under the Bush and Clinton years, we were like really high on the hog. Um, there was a lot of expendable income in the economy during the Clinton years. So us folks in the fringe entertainment industry, we're doing real well. They're hurting now. They're just aching everybody all over the world. I see people, the festival crowd. Where's Abby Stein? Let's say it now and keep it for the coming years. Better than 45 is an unacceptable low bar. We need to hold President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and the White House responsible to real progress, not just to progress compared to 45. Abby is the Orthodox Jewish transgender woman who made a lot of waves when she came out from the Haredi community. Give it gaga. Oh, this is still running, isn't it? uh, they're negotiating with me. Uh, Dr. Dick Wad posted a thread. How much money should we give Tommy if he could do the 10-minute sex playing challenge? And Bucket, also known as Tom Madeira, papist, which is like Grand Poobah, Knights of Columbus of Omaha. Oh, real piece of work. You're a fucking clown who exists for our enjoyment. You'll get laughed at, just like you always have for the last 10 years. And you're a delusional fool who exists as a tool of the plutocratic oligarchs who just got defeated at the polls. I'm going to really enjoy watching your world implode in the coming months. I hope this guy gets caught up in the fucking insurrection shit. There's going to be a lot of prosecution on that. There was a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of money and propaganda. People were convinced to do that by people like this. And they're going to go down. I said my piece. We're definitely on a very positive track for to get the Equality Act passed, and a really good progressive domestic policy. But it cannot. We have to disarm the world. So long as the world economy is dominated by warfare, that's what we're going to get. I'm out of water and out of drink. I'm getting a little heartburn from all that fructose. The Arizona iced tea. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like it, hit the like button, please. I get, I'm only getting maybe 5% of the viewers hit either, react. And there's at least 5 of them that automatically. I mean, you can count on at least 5. I mean, there are 5 people at least that are obsessed with hating on me. I don't even want to give them the airtime because they think I'm obsessing on them. And Dave is writing a lot of these massive, nasty stories with me as the star of them, and projecting his own delusions, his own degenerate fantasy, calling me a pedophile dog fucker, and he's the one that's coming up with all these graphic fantasies. It's really wow. Child rape, violent child rape and shit like that, and he's projecting it at me. It's like, no, man. I admit to one improper contact with a minor who really knew how to make, it's consensual. She invited me to the bed. Yes, I should have turned it down, but I didn't. And it was 40 years ago. And that's the only thing that I've ever done that was inappropriate sexually. And then they're making me out to be this dangerous child predator today. Go figure. Happy day. Thanks for watching, and Namaste, motherfuckers.